Okay, it's May 21st, 7:30, Whitman Historic Commission meeting called to order. There are 5 full members here. Missing is Michael Simmons, Sean Simmons, and Mary Joyce. So the first thing is under correspondence. No matter how many times I arrange this, I'm never right. Did you see this? I don't know who put this in the mailbox, but it's clearly not correspondence from me.
Was it you?
He's blaming you.
I'm joking. What was it?
January 7th, 1993. Somebody left.
I did.
Mailbox.
Because I found it when I was going through the planning board minutes, and I said, "Oh, something about the historic district."
Right.
I said, Molly's going to mention it one day in the future, and I'm going to say, I read it somewhere that they were talking about it.
Didn't we have some conversation somewhere about there being a historic district? Somebody had called or questioned a historic district.
I don't know.
And it has...
but you can see that the planning board, and it looks like, it says the Historical Society, but I think they meant the Historical Commission.
All right. You can pull up a chair down there.
Yeah, I'll pull up a chair here. It's easier.
I'll slide over.
But I'm not going to stay that long.
Yeah, we're just going to do this, and then we'll turn to you so you can... You're probably tired. So it has here, we've been joined by Ken Layler. Minutes of December 15th, 1992. D. McLean.
John McLean, yep.
From the Whitman Planning Board.
Yeah.
So D. McLean, I don't know who that
John
is.
McLean, yep.
John McLean
He's a longtime member
made
of
a
the planning board.
motion, seconded by B. Pace. Is that Pace or Pache?
Pace.
Pace. All voted in favor of requesting a joint meeting with the Whitman Historic Society.
I think it's commission because it mentions Elaine Malisi, who was on the commission, so that's my guess.
In regards of setting up a historic district in Whitman. Where would we go to get, then under this, and then on January 19th, March 3rd, Elaine Malisi and Roger Keene Jr. of the Whitman Historic Society were present to discuss with the planning board the possibility of setting up a historic district in the town of Whitman, preferably in the center of town. From Broad Street to Park Avenue, Kavicki's, the Bates Building, and the old fire station would be historical favorites. Mrs. Malisi explained that the Historic Society would do the legwork, contacting the Massachusetts Historical Society for information and guidelines. The boards will meet again at a later date. Joe Cool, so that's just, the rest has nothing to do with this. So the society and the commission are two different things.
Maybe they meant the society? I didn't know who they met with. But Elaine was a longtime member of the Historical Commission. So that's why I think they.
So what I'll do...
now, you are going to ask what became of after that? I wasn't researching that. I stopped when I found the material that I found.
Here. I think what I'll do is, first of all, check to see in the town reports who the commission members were, and then see if the commission matches, and then I'll call the commission, but I can also call the society to see if they had anything that was on file.
Yeah.
Do we know where John Campbell's things are? Or are they just all in I can ask.
I think everything is in the armory, yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Exactly where, I don't know, yeah.
Well, I did talk to Todd, and something we want to talk about is these 3 buses can be moved. He thinks he might be able to squeeze those in. So that we'll have I'm just writing this down. Yeah, because I hadn't, when you do a district, a district usually has to come through the state commission.
Right.
And then,
it's this board that...
when we did South Union Street, I can go to the library in Rockland and pull that, because I actually did that, but that was back in 1981. So, when I was young.
I've noticed East Bridgewater, too, they have their common area in town. That's the district as well.
Yeah. And I think it has to have some pretty strong piece for it to be worthwhile. But I think that we're going to run into that anyway with whatever happens with this. Okay, so the other
Correspondence.
correspondence, yeah, I'm trying to think of what other correspondence I have here. I don't think I really have anything else. That was the only thing that was in there, and there were ads. There were a couple of things here that people just dropped by, and old trails from Old Abington. And then Mary left these for minutes for us to look at for old minutes. If you want to pass those around. And then this, we really had not a heck of a lot of correspondence, but the birthplace banner of the Susan B. Anthony Birthplace Museum. I don't know, maybe one of you guys know about this. I don't know anything whether Marie, it was sent to Marie, so I tend to think that was something maybe she could.
Someone needs more toner.
I can't remember where she put that. Where it needed more toner. Her machine is down.
Susan B. Anthony.
It's a birthplace banner. It's a newspaper. It's a newsprint.
From where?
I don't know.
Adams,
Oh.
Massachusetts.
Adams, Massachusetts.
Oh,
yeah. It's the suffragette trail.
Oh, okay.
So I think that was something that she'd subscribed to. And one other thing under correspondence, I received a phone call from a woman whose nephew was moving to Whitman, and she was looking for where to buy the Whitman Monopoly game.
Oh yeah. The Whitman Hanson Robotics Club sells it.
Who does?
What's the robotics club?
They
At the high school?
the Whitman. It's the Whitman Hanson Monopoly. Is that what you said? Monopoly, yeah, Whitman Hanson Monopoly or whatever. Yeah, they sold it. They bought a ton of them, so they've been selling it the last 2 years. They were at Family. What's the fun day in Whitman? Whitman Day. They were at Whitman Day last year selling them. I can get you the advisor's name if you want, and that would give you his email address at the high school.
That would be great. Or just give me his name and I'll look it up.
It's not on the top of my head, you know what I'm saying, but he's emailed me before, so if I go look at my email batch, I'll find it. Yep.
Didn't Duval
long
sell it?
I didn't know they may have it. They used to sell the Mothers Club one that they did ages ago. Ages
Not
ago.
Whitman Hanson. I thought it was Whitman Monopoly.
It
A
is.
long time ago.
Yeah.
It is Whitman Monopoly.
Okay, out of.
It's Whitman Hanson
Is doing that.
Robotics that's selling it.
Oh,
I
okay.
see.
Oh.
Sorry. I thought it was
Right.
Whitman Hanson Monopoly.
Where is it combined now?
It's the one they're selling is combined.
Oh, it is. Okay. Got that wrong.
Do you know how much it is?
I believe it was $30.
Can always ask at Duval's. They might still have them, but
Yeah,
I
was
haven't
wondering
seen
about
them on the
Duval's. It
shelf.
sounded like something Duval's did.
That's all I know.
they did in the past. I don't know. I've never really looked to see if it's still on the shelves.
Okay.
They were selling them at the Christmas fair at the KSC last December. Oh, Frank.
There you go.
See, I knew that if I kept it till today, that I could get that information from you all. All right. So now that's it for the correspondence. Let's take out of order. So, Ken?
Oh, okay. Oh, thank you very much. I appreciate it. What I'm here for is just briefly to extend my appreciation for anyone that had anything to do with my wife's dedication and putting it forward as far as getting things done and setting things up and whatnot, and also for the support that I got from the Historical Commission. I mean, if it wasn't for you folks, I would have been there going, what do I do now? Hi, folks. Thank you for coming. Okay, this is my wife's bench. See ya. I mean,
Did a great job.
It went very well.
I
Yeah.
appreciate it, though. No, that's all I want to do. I think I told you, Molly. I just feel it's better in person than sending a handwritten note or just through you telling everybody, "Hey, I appreciate it. I thank you." And I mean, I don't want to take up too much of your meeting. I just want to say it's been. I think we started talking about this back in February, but neither here nor there. It doesn't matter. I just want to say thank you. I appreciate all the help and support I get from you folks.
I'm happy to report that I talked to the woman who did the plaque, and the new plaque will be here within 48 hours.
Oh wow! Yeah, because I did notice the old one's gone.
Yeah, I went around the block and came back and took it off.
Oh, okay.
So, but at any rate, somebody was taking a picture of it and was going to make a big wait a minute, these dates aren't right now. And I said, could you come over
Yeah.
here a second? And I said, we've had a lot of trouble with being hacked. And I said, my computer was hacked. Everything was
Yeah.
shut down, and it became very confusing. And I said, we're gonna correct it. And I said,
Yeah.
it was just one of those situations. And thank God for Steve Burke. He caught it on a Saturday.
Oh,
I
really?
had over 1,000. Yeah, I had
Wow.
over 1,000 emails coming through, and it
Oh,
was
Steve
all.
Burke.
Oh, the
Steve
hack,
Burke.
you mean?
What
The
did I
hack, yeah.
say?
No, you said Steve Burke, and I couldn't
Yeah.
figure out how he figured out the name that Marie's dates were wrong. And I was like, how
No,
did
it
Steve
was-
Burke
it
know
was
all that?
In the middle of all
I get what you're
trying
saying
to
now.
get
Yeah.
a hold of them, and then I couldn't get a hold of them, and I thought, and then we had to go through. They had to get a hold of their accountant. I mean, there was a lot of stuff that went on back and forth with it. So I think the mistake was made during that time because I had been adjusting the times because she came in at 2:10 to 2:13, and then that's why I think those
Yeah.
dates.
Oh,
It's
okay.
my mistake.
You want to know something? I would have just saw the plaque. I wouldn't even recognize it if you hadn't
That's
said anything.
exactly what I did.
In all honesty, I would have just looked
When
at
I
the
put it on the
plaque.
tree, I went, "Ah!" So,
But
but I'm glad. Did your family seem to be happy with it?
yes, they
Okay,
were. Yeah,
good.
because my sons. I mean, my daughter-in-law. I mean, my mother-in-law came. I mean, I should
Oh.
say my mother-in-law. Let me rephrase that. My son's mother-in-law
Yeah.
was there as well,
Oh,
and she
nice.
just was happy to be there.
Good.
She had no, I shouldn't say she had no knowledge of what was going on. She knew what was going on. She's of sound mind and she can focus, I mean, and whatnot. But I think my daughter-in-law basically says, you're coming. But she enjoyed it. She
Yeah.
thought that was a
I
great
think you had a
tribute.
nice turnout.
It's a- yeah.
And anybody that I spoke to, I mean, I asked a few people who were taking pictures, send me pictures. Oh, what a mistake. I'm sorry to say. Whether they were taking them with phones, cameras, or otherwise. One
Really?
person sent me 24 pictures. Another one sent me 46 pictures.
Oh, wow.
Another one sent me like, there was 54. There was another one with 30-something, and another one that was only 12. I said, oh, good. Someone that was smart and she sent me a few of them. And I'm going through them. I said, oh, this is a duplicate. This is a duplicate. This is a duplicate.
If you have one or two good ones, if you could send them to us.
well, that's-
Mary puts them on Facebook, and I'm going to send them to the Express.
Yeah.
But I could look for.
I still
we
gotta
could
go
use
through
other ones if you had any.
Did,
I still got
did Pam
about.
give you hers because she.
Oh,
does
Pam was
really
there,
well. Yeah.
Who does?
Pam
Yeah.
Ryan.
Pam Ryan.
Oh, yes, yeah. Pam sent me hers as well, yeah. She's the one that sent me the 46 of them. She was the first one I got.
Yeah, she starts her camera and she doesn't.
Oh, I know, yeah.
Yeah,
And she just, and I'm saying, well, this picture looks the same as, thanks. But I might have done this, or I might have done this, or I might have, who, I mean, it's just,
she has really good camera.
Oh, yeah.
Too. So.
and that's what
Yeah,
I
if you wouldn't
kiddingly
mind
said
sending
to
it,
her.
that would be good because
All right.
then we can give it to Mary to put on Facebook.
I'll go through them again, yeah.
She's away for a week, so it won't be posted.
Who, Pam or, oh,
No,
okay.
Mary.
Mary,
Mary's
okay.
gone to,
Oh, okay, for the
we can't even get
history,
it corrected.
Historical-
She's a full member now.
Commission.
The
They have
Facebook
her
page,
listed
yeah,
as
Facebook,
a-
that's what I thought you meant, yeah.
Yeah, so but
So,
we'll put it on.
all right, I will. I'll grab Pam's pictures and I'll,
Oh, if you have any others that are
Yeah.
too good,
Oh,
my
okay.
camera
I'll look
camera
through 'em,
is
yeah.
really good.
it's tough looking at it because my sons and me, I mean, we're busy. I'm looking over here and talking to this one. I'm looking, my son is busy. He doesn't know how, the youngest one doesn't know how to smile.
He doesn't know how to smile.
Of course, my oldest there is like this, and he's it's like, oh man, I felt like smacking him a couple of times. Will you smile? But I wasn't, I was too busy talking to other people. I
Yeah.
didn't even realize it
Yeah.
half the time. But anyways,
Yeah.
I thank you all for everything you did,
Oh no.
and you made this event.
Well, hopefully
Remember,
they'll start
Yeah.
moving
How do I
on.
want to say it? Not remember some. Memorial. No.
Yeah.
Memorable.
Rememberable. Thank you.
Whatever.
Think of
Thank
the
you.
word.
We know
Something
what
like
you're
that.
talking about. Okay.
But anyways,
Except that Dawn said that you couldn't use the pop-ups.
Molly, I went back the next day after our meeting, and I had asked her in advance from saying she just didn't remember. So,
Well, I heard.
and I said to her, because this is a big factor in whether she does it. I said, and you remember Marie liked you and you liked Marie, and she said, yeah, absolutely, you can use him. So, I mean, if it was somebody she didn't like, she may have had to think
Oh, yeah.
twice about it.
I was joking because she turned and she winked at me and she said, "I'm just
Okay.
breaking his chops."
yeah.
Yeah. So,
But
But at any rate, so we're going to go on, because
All right.
otherwise we'll...
Thank you, yeah.
Appreciate it, and I am gonna fade on out because I just came from the DPW meeting.
Sure.
I'm glad that I made it. I didn't know if I was gonna, but now I'll go home and I'll let the dog enjoy his outdoors time chasing the rabbit around the backyard.
Okay.
Not my rabbit either; it's a wild rabbit.
Everybody's having that.
All right,
Thank you.
Wally, thank you very much.
Okay,
Thanks, Ken.
Folks, thank you very
Bye.
much. I appreciate it again. Take care now.
Bye-bye. Okay. One of the other things that's... Did you drop this off?
I have to put in every department's mailbox just so that
okay. So I must
it shows,
pick it up out
so
of
that
the
you can see
mailbox.
what was certified and what wasn't certified.
Okay.
So I think historically you'll see our line item budgets in there, and also the CPA, the Community Preservation Committee grant was approved.
Okay. So
Well, you used to get, it was a lot of work. You used to get individual papers that show each one of your approvals. Now it's just as easy for us to give you the whole thing and have you find it yourself.
okay. Yeah, that was a long town meeting. However, it wasn't as long as some of the others.
Correct.
Okay, so I'll put this in with the records of the town report so that we have it. So for that, Michelle, it's the annual town meeting amended. It's the amended articles for May 6th.
You know,
2024.
all I'm saying is you might, after you get the next year's, it's in the actual town report. So
Right.
you might want to keep it until you get the next report and just throw away at
I brought a warrant in, so I'll keep those together until
Right.
the town report comes in.
And the only thing that's amended on that was the date. I started doing my record keeping, my minutes on May 7th. And so I put at the top, it defaults to the date, and I did May 7th. And then after I sent it out to everyone, somebody said, "No, wasn't the town meeting on May 6th?" And I said, "It sure was." I said, "Let me send everyone a whole nother copy."
That's like
So I took
before
your...
we go to 2022.
Anyway, that's neither here nor
It's
there.
like, okay, I'm calendar challenged.
So this reflects the Conservation Commission.
No, the community preservation
Oh, the
grant
community
that we got, and
preservation.
also our regular $500 line
Where did I
item.
get conservation?
Yeah, that went through, and I talked to.
Preservation.
Ryan,
No, I was talking with Paula today, and I talked with John Adams, the new
Oh, yeah.
accountant, about the CPA. He's just starting to do the monies from that, but I'll get to that
yeah, when we get
to
down,
that.
sure.
Okay, so I'm going to hand these to you, Michelle, to just put the finals in the minutes. But these are the Historic Commission financial reports from Michael. I think, gosh, I feel like we read this every time.
So we had $500, and pending is the $69.95 for the the tree hugger expenditure, and then the John Campbell printing was probably a couple $100. I haven't got the bill yet on that. So as soon as I get it, I'll tell you so that you'll know how much is available to spend between now and the end of the year, the fiscal year.
And then the fiscal year is, okay.
And we did get approved for the net 30 with WB Mason, so we will get billed. That part I know. We haven't ordered anything yet, so I'm interested to make sure that it's tax-free. So the next time even if you order one thing, so we can see if it does the taxes or not.
I'm going to hand this down to you because I'd like to see if you can set up an account with this as well.
Oh, there's another one? Yeah.
This is Hollinger's, and they make all the boxes
archival
and
stuff,
all
sure.
the archival things.
Yep.
So if we can set up an account with them, that would be
Helpful, yeah.
yeah. And under finances as well, when you two listened to the report today, did they say anything about equipment, or did they talk about the budget at all?
No.
Okay. So
They were on the webinar?
yeah, they did the webinar, and we'll get to that. But I'm hoping to get tubes, and we're going to talk about the maps that's on the agenda.
Gotcha.
But the tubes, and then the boxes, so as we do the survey, I want to be able to have everything. Let's just get
Yep,
that's
I know.
under finance.
Reorganization of the office, I know, is on your agenda.
Yes.
What is
Okay.
that Molly just gave you? That folder?
It's a company that provides that sells archival material
Oh, okay.
that we would like to purchase at some point in the future.
All right.
So set up an account with them.
Acid-free containers.
Okay.
So, for instance, we have a box over here Gurney, there's the one where they have the listing of all the people who died at home in all the old houses. And that was very helpful for Mr. Conlon when he was trying to find when his house was built, because it had the listing of the people who died in his house, which is the Noyes family. They're heavily in the
NOYES.
NOYES, yeah. They're all buried in
Pine.
what I call
High Street,
Pine-
whatever.
Pine Street, it's High Street. I'm going to have to call Lonnie back on that, because Lonnie and I had a long conversation about it, and I think we need to get that done. Okay, so we're through correspondence, treasurer's report, Ken Layler. Okay, MHC workshops. You will see there, Michael. There's one of the
thank you.
printouts. So
Did you need one too?
you may want to take one because you don't have a computer. And I wanted to ask you, Elaine, would you mind meeting here to do the Zoom meeting?
Yeah, that's what I thought I was doing.
Oh no, I thought I invited you to come to my house.
Oh,
But
whatever.
I talked to John Adams, and Mary sent me a listing of what
I
happened
don't want to
today.
print it out either.
And she had some questions
There's
that
another
were
one.
for the accountant, so I went right in and talked to him. And I said, "Are you going to be here Thursday?" And he said, "Yes." And I said, "Good, because if we hear something, then we can come in and ask the question right then."
Sure.
This webinar that you had, it was specific to our project, or was to everybody else that's doing
It's
this?
all the coordinators.
All the
people who
coordinators
want-
are doing the.
Yeah, and originally
Sorry,
they just wanted the single coordinator.
Yeah.
And then I asked for permission for all of us because I think it's necessary that everybody be able to understand it. And I can certainly explain things better.
Yeah. And some of us might be around for the third phase of it, or
Right,
whatever.
exactly.
Yep.
Hopefully we'll see what we can get done. Yeah. But at any rate, one of the things that I talked to Paula today, and the form that they needed for the plaque for Marie.
The
came in.
W-9.
It's already come in.
Oh, good.
And
I said I'd
Paula,
talk to you tonight.
And then when I talked to him, there's a report that they need. Mary gave me the name of the report,
Mhm.
and I went over. And Paula didn't know about it, but John did.
Yeah. That's what's good about having this accountant that was an accountant somewhere else. So he has information that's different information because he worked in a different community and
Experience.
experience. Yeah.
Okay, so what Mary said, since we are on the MHC, she said the MHC went through. She said it was a good meeting. Did you think it was good? Did you feel they explained it well?
Yeah, yeah, I think it had some good information in it.
Good.
And it was easy to follow along and
Okay.
If I read this, I will have a familiarity with what.
Yes, I got you that because they're going to send brochure. They're going to send the final copy of it, but this way at least you can understand it and read it because I don't. I know you were having trouble. I asked for them to do an evening
Right.
one,
Yeah.
and
That's
they didn't come back with that. The MHC went through their expectations and the next steps. Lorna and Michelle were also there. They asked for the scope of Whitman's work, and I gave them a quick overview. They will be needing a copy of the town's single audit.
Okay.
And they outlined timelines of projects. They will send a copy of slides and work versions for the manual this week. So that way you'll get all the slides, the PowerPoint slides. So we'll make sure you get those, and Michael and Sean get them as well. So when I asked him about the single audit, he said, well, Whitman doesn't have a single audit, but he said, we have formulated one.
Okay.
And he said it's in the proofreading stage, and he said we'll have it by the time they need it. So he knew exactly what I was talking about as soon as I asked him. He said that would be good. So I
They
felt
said
like,
it might not, just a letter or something was needed.
okay, yeah. So at least that way we know. Yeah, I was relieved that John knew exactly what we were talking about, so that we didn't have to hunt around for it, etc. So what did you find out? Did you just a brief synopsis?
it's basically all of this. I actually am looking through and I had screenshots. A lot of
The
this.
slides.
They gave
You
examples.
sent me the slides, okay.
It's out of the slide.
Yeah,
Basically, yeah.
as a sample RFQ.
The first 3 months is basically, but then they quickly went over the next. But they concentrate on the first 3 months of what we have to do. And then, as I probably have another one, I guess we go on, I guess. I don't know. But it was
Yeah, and
Yeah, I think
a
they have
synopsis
more-
of the rest. But
they
the
talked.
first 3, they really stressed what we needed to
Yeah.
do.
Okay.
Now in September.
The vendors. He said there's only about a dozen of them.
That do them the surveys.
You know, and he also said that they would provide any help that they could
Yeah.
for us to write this, and you know, we can utilize them for resources and things. He said at least if we have to, we can go to them for the 12. I don't know if we already have those people, but pick at least 3. But it'd be better if you picked more. And
You mean to do the work, what they call vendors?
yes,
Yeah. Okay.
so
And they give us that list, though, right?
he said he would provide it.
Yeah, they have.
Okay, and then we interview them.
Yes.
Okay. Can you think of any questions between now and Elaine and I are going to sit in on it on the 23rd. So if you think of any questions of stuff, like take a look at that, and you too, if you see anything, I know
Do you
time
have
is
an extra one for these?
yes. That
She gave me one.
Huh?
Elaine has one.
I don't have it. Michelle has one.
Here, take this.
Oh, you have 2 of them? No, you need
No, I
one
just
too.
have one.
What? You have one?
We'll copy it.
Okay.
Can we do that?
I can. I can't get in there but I copied. Yes, you know what? I can come over here and copy it. I have one here.
That's okay. Yeah.
No. I want you to be able to, because you've heard it.
Yeah.
And I want to see if you can come up with, and I have it on the computer. So one of the things that I would prefer to see everybody do, if possible, is when you have them here.
Oh.
Take one of those clips there. With this many of them, I printed them out here because, you know, like with Mary, she was clearly going away, but I'll print out another one for Mary and one for myself so that I have it, and I'll take a look at it again tomorrow before we come in on the 23rd.
Okay.
So when they were talking about hiring the vendor, did they say that we interview as many people as we want, and then we pick?
Yeah,
They give it.
and
It
they
has to
have
be from
decide.
their list.
Right. No, yeah. But it doesn't have to be from us. They have a list that we can, if we need help. At least 3. We should do more, but at least 3.
Interviews.
And they have to, yes, you do it and you submit it, but then they still have to approve it or something, don't they? They still.
Yeah, he said that you might run into problems where some of the vendors might say, well, they want to start this in August and we just can't start something like this until November. And so I think he said he would be somewhat flexible if we run into issues like that. He's sometimes
No, yeah,
have to
because
go
they have a
beyond-
couple of months where if you run
But
into
the
a problem.
thing is, you have to do
doesn't have to
exactly
be done.
what's in your scope of work that we did already. We have to do it within that time range, or the money doesn't come in.
That's what I was
Right.
wondering. how
Yeah.
he-
So
But it's flexible.
I guess we have to figure out a way to question that.
And he did mention that it's sometimes people do have to go outside of the area to get what they need.
So I guess the question is, does that risk your funding if it extends beyond the deadline?
Right.
And we have to pick
That's a good question.
cheapest one.
He said we had to pick the cheapest one.
Yeah, that's the requirements. There's requirements. They both have the requirements, but one is less expensive, then you have to do the less expensive. I mean,
What's the
So we
point
gotta-
of interviewing anybody if you have to pick those at least?
The last time we did, yes, we
It has to be
we didn't
requirements.
interview them, but we got proposals from each of them, and some have. None is exactly the same, obviously.
Yeah.
And we picked the most local one, and I don't think cost was the factor.
It doesn't make sense.
Yes.
Yeah, Pal has certainly taken over, but from what I've seen too, you know, and it's something that we need to probably, the next meeting, I think if we can just do strictly, you know, what's happening with this, because I get nervous about the fact that the houses around the park are just house number 1, house number 2, and then they just lumped them all together, but
I
they didn't give
know.
any history of it.
Yeah. That was the disappointing part about it. You thought you were going to get a you were going to get some kind of a narrative on each and every house, and they didn't. By grouping them together, they counted them as 20 houses,
Right.
but they gave a group history of the area.
Yeah, right. Okay. All right. So I guess what we have to do is take a. Did they say when it starts, or did they have any indication of when they'll be sending that list?
I can't
We have to
remember if we
request
have to request it. Yeah, I think.
We have to request it.
Yeah, if you run into.
So I'll
if you
request
need
that
it.
on the 23rd. I'll send it in writing.
Is your seminar going to be the same, or is it going to be slightly different?
Same.
Same. Okay.
Same. And something that I need to let you all know too is take a look at the scope. I think I gave everybody a copy of the scope, and if not, let me know and I'll make sure you get one. I will be away from October 4th to November 1st. So I want to make sure that everything's going along as I need. I'll obviously be able to be gotten a hold of by email, etc. But I'll be away. So since Facebook page and the web access, since Mary's not here, but she, we know that she's got Facebook, and it clearly worked because there were a lot of people who saw it on Facebook that came to the Layler situation, or memorial, or whatever we want to call it. Web access. Steve, so I'm going to go in with, this is going to be my IT report. Steve Burke did get me a key. I feel like we're beginning to move, like,
An access key, yeah.
yeah, so I got an access key to the building. He's going to look to see if he can get us a printer, because the printers are supposed to be supplied through the IT, and I'm always nervous about using the one in there. Plus the fact that it doesn't, like, yours is a much better one, but I just wanted a small one, just a small printer that can handle 40 pages or 50 pages or whatever. But I have to make sure that nobody's anywhere near that printer before I start printing, because they can be sending out a huge report or something, and it can screw up everything. So I talked to Steve for quite a while about it, and he said he thought that there should be a capability of doing that. But if not, I'll still be using in there. And then I go on, that's why I think with these things, when it's a big printing job, it's taking up your toner. And this is for the town, and we're volunteers, and that's why I printed them out. So.
We had a printer. It's provided by the state for our voters and our state computer, and we got rid of it, and we were allowed to do whatever we wanted to do with it. And so Don asked the treasure collector if he wanted the printer, and he said yes, but this is about probably 8 months ago, and it's still standing unhooked up on his desk. So I would be more than willing to ask him, are you going to use that? Are you going to get that hooked up or not? Because another department might be interested in it. I can ask him that, but then you'd have to have Steve would have to be in charge of
Steve will do that.
It's a larger size one, but I think it has legal and not. It has both size papers,
Great.
which is very good.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's only, I'll say, less than 2 years old.
Perfect.
Yeah.
No.
And I have no idea about that, but I do know that there's some printers, and maybe as on as Finesse, that you can store your document, and then when you're ready to print it, you go and you pick your library and you print it, so nobody else can print while you're printing.
Mm-hmm. Not with that. It's old.
Okay.
It doesn't staple. It collated today. I was lucky that it collated. Yeah, it collates all into one slot. It's and they have quite a few reports on it, but I think it works well for their reports. But
You should have some kind of a printer in here anyway, so that not a copier, but a printer. You know what I'm saying? You can.
I think
You have to run back and forth to different offices.
Yeah, I'm going to skip down to office equipment
Okay.
and design, because we seem to be discussing that at the moment. So, what Mike told me the other day at the thing, he asked me how many of those cabinets that we wanted, and I said, well, the back wall here, we'll put in 2. If we could have those 2, then at least that gives us some storage space. But if we could get another 2, if we could get 4, and he said, I think I can get you 4. But he said they've got another project. He said there are hundreds of them. But he said they have another project that they're going to be using it for. And tonight he's not here because President Biden's here, and he's in the group that's escorting him. So at any rate, I measured everything along the wall, all the different breaks. And I think if we can get this area into working area and that into the table across that it's open so that we can sit. And if we can get those for free, that saves us a heck of a lot of money. So that's okay with you guys. Under reorganization, that map over there that Sean liked and that we decided that we wouldn't put out, there is another one of those down in the planning board hearing room, exactly the same. I took a picture of that, went down and looked at them. So I personally think either that can go down there or we can remove it.
Consider it obsolete or...
Well, there's another one. I mean, they've got a bunch of them down in the hearing room where the planning and zoning meet.
Yeah.
So I don't know how obsolete it is. I hate getting rid of maps that show where bodies of water are, et cetera, et cetera. But I think it would be a heck of a lot of work to try to... If that's blocking us, I think...
Blocking us from what?
from being able to get the filing area that we need in here.
Oh.
Because it's just taking up wall space. We were talking about putting it over the Whitman Centennial thing that we all really would like to get rid of because it's burlap and holding dust, but what the heck. I don't know. Maybe I should give that to Rich Rosen
Right, for the cell version,
for the next
The 150th,
anniversary.
I'm sure he'd love it.
Yeah, they should have something.
I don't think so.
I was being facetious.
What?
You can store that down in the other room with all the maps. It's not a big deal.
Okay, so I'll
I mean,
ask
I
Mike
don't
to
have-
move it
I
down.
don't have-
Not you, Mike, the other Mike.
I know who you don't.
Yeah, I mean, I can walk it down on the elevator when we leave. It's
Heavy. It's heavy.
Yeah.
Lands on your foot, you can break it.
okay.
So I'd
Your
rather
foot or the map? It breaks the foot or you'll break your map, the map?
the foot
Or
before
both?
the map.
Oh.
Doesn't look that heavy.
Try picking it up.
I won't. I believe you.
Oh my goodness.
What's it on? That it's that heavy.
Is
It's
that
on
solid
boards.
wood behind there? My goodness.
Yeah.
If you think we have two of them, maybe somebody else somewhere else would like it.
Yeah.
I've never seen it downstairs. Where is it?
It's on the left-hand side. I had to go in there to get my picture taken for my ID.
Yeah.
And as I was walking out, I went, what's this? And it's exactly the same.
Oh.
It's exactly the same. It has the same numbers on it. and
There's so
everything.
many things down there that are just obsolete too.
I know. Okay, the CPA grant and the house plaques. So we have enough of us to vote for. We talked about the house plaques the last time. And were you here, Elaine, when we were talking about the house plaques?
I don't remember.
Okay.
I was at the last meeting, but not the one before.
Well, we talked about, Sean had brought up that we could get the plaques made out of the PVC
Oh yeah,
materials.
I was there then.
And so I called the group that I liked, which was the Corning group. Their prices.
That's the one in Rockland?
Yeah, they're in Rock. They're both.
Yeah,
They're both
okay.
actually. Two of the three is in Rockland, and I didn't call Hornstra's because I thought, this guy's got experience doing it. So he talked to me for quite a while, and he said, absolutely. He said he does tons of quotes for people. He's not Carly. He's so he said he would say that he does do the PVC, and he said it is worthwhile. And he said the thing it's supporting Silkscreen Print Company, and he said you would add maybe $25 to the $300 for 20 plaques. So he said that they would do the exact same thing, that they would cut them, they would have them ready, and then they would silk screen in the names, and so as we sent them in. But he said it's up to us. And I said, does it look the same? And he said, yes, it does. And he said, and it doesn't, he said, your wood signs, he said, you usually have about 8 years before you have to start redoing them.
Oh.
So.
And what did he say the cost was?
It's $300 for 20 ovals.
What was the thing about $25?
$25 added for the difference between the PVC and the wood. He said it's not that much difference.
Total, not
Total,
individual signed. Okay, gotcha.
And then the custom lettering,
I was
the
thinking the same thing. 25.
the biggest cost is the lettering is $40. But I think that if we have I think he does, one of the things I want to check with him about is the Town of Whitman Historic Commission, and then what it is when we put a plaque in that has the name of the person or the carriage house and the date, that's when the $40 picks up. So it wouldn't be that it wouldn't be until we sent them in. And to me, I don't know what you guys think about this, but I come up with all these weird ideas, and I wish I didn't, because it just means crazy stuff. I think to start out somewhere around the beginning of the anniversary, if we had a session where we had some of the people from the last survey, some of the really oldest houses, if we have like a little ceremony and we give them the signs, send them a letter saying, and give them their survey from that and their sign.
Yeah, that sounds wonderful.
And then we get some publicity for it.
It generates interest,
Yeah.
And they'll be more encouraged to put them up.
Right.
I'm saying.
Right. Okay, so,
And did they have to personally put them up?
yeah.
Okay, I'm just
Jesus.
asking.
You know, before...
They had to pay for them too.
that?
Just asking.
Yeah.
Because they're probably
Just
going
to
to ask.
clarify, did you say it's $40 to date each plaque individually? So they'll all
Yeah,
be made
it's-
in a lump, and then
Yeah, the custom lettering. So when it gets down to the custom lettering, which is the, carriage house or, the Michelle house or the Lorna house, then in the date. So we have enough in there that we can probably pull those with some of the oldest houses. I do think that one of the ones that we have to do is the Captain Allen house. As much as I don't like that house, I do think that it's historically important. So, but they all came in about the same, and I know we talked about it the last time. So the three groups that we went with for the was Carly, Corning, and Signorama. And the Signorama was in Walpole.
Yeah.
But I talked to the historic commissions that the Corning group gave me, and they do the Hingham ones and several others. I think they do Weymouth. At any rate, some of them have, like my husband does them in the woodshed, But I if you guys are okay with going with what I say, I think he's easy to work with. He's got
You've met
staff
with him.
there.
Yeah.
I've met him. I've gone over and looked at his shop.
Yeah.
He returned my call.
Where in Rockland is he again?
He's, where WCR is? It's right in that same group.
Gotcha.
WCR, Fader Motors, that group, right on 139. So, what do you think? Can we have a motion?
Move to proceed with Corning for our signs.
Second.
These are replacement plaques, right? These are for the future, right? Or are they for the future?
These are for the future.
Yeah.
Okay.
But we're using some of the surveys from the past. The ones that we just completed, that had been
Never
completed
got
in the
this.
2015-16.
What they did in the last one was they did the bronze, which
That was a long time ago, yeah.
Yeah, they started out with the bronze, and those were
It was too expensive, so we went to the wood.
And then they went to the wood ones, and those were still expensive. And now I wrote for the CPA money, and I think if it works, I'll put in for more of it, so that we can give them the signs, because what we're building is the visual history of the town. And it's funny because some historic commission I was reading today, They were going after the visual history as well, and I thought I was the only one that was looking at it as a visual history. But imagine if all of the houses around, like
In the area,
yeah. So we can build it from that. Okay, and then that also.
I second.
Okay. Vote.
Yes.
Yes. While you're on CPA, I'd like to step away from the CPC as the representative from the Historical Commission. So I don't know when we're reorganizing. I haven't heard anything about a meeting, but I can send my letter to the selectmen, and then if you want to make a recommendation for somebody else to replace me, I would appreciate it.
Okay.
Why don't we have to reorganize our committee sometime in June after the appointments are done? So maybe that's a good time to talk about who would be interested in the position on the our representative to the
Right.
CPC.
After
Right.
what appointments are done.
After the committee appointments are done in June, we reorganize.
Okay.
And I
Just putting it up there.
no, I think that would be a great one for some of the newer members who, to get to know either Mike, Sean, or Mary.
How full is that committee at this moment in time that you know of? It's dismissing representatives.
No comment.
Okay.
Take a break. I'll explain.